Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm here to give you the philosophy how to expand a bit upon your creativity, imagination, and innovation. Everything is created twice. First in the mind, then it becomes reality. Whatever the mind and man can conceive and believe it can achieve. So you go out there day after day to do the work. The confidence, put yourself out there boldly, authentically, even though the success, the creation has not arrived, has not manifested just yet. But you know that the richest place on earth, the richest real estate on earth is the graveyard where dreams and goals and everything you have, ideas, die along with you because you now have the courage, the framework, the actions, and the go-getter energy to go out there to make things happen instead of wait for things to happen. You're going to have all this. This is the philosophy, the framework known as create like a God. That's your man's Jaron Mitchell, aka Jaron W1nning Mitchell. Today's topic we're talking about today is good theft versus bad theft. This is talking about in the book Still Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. Okay, hopefully I'm saying his last name right. Austin Kleon, from that book. Okay, that's where most of these stuff I'm coming from. I read this is the stuff and me understanding and coming up with some content right here. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about this. Okay, today's episode we're gonna be talking about it. That's where I got it from. That's where I got the idea from. Again, this is from old episodes. Some of the episodes that was just audio at the time of my podcast when I started in 2019, and it kept going off and on. We're not doing that anymore. We're going to make sure we continue and give you podcast episodes each and every day. And if everything goes right, okay, in the beginning, I'm mentioning this right now, but in the beginning of 2026, I'm going to be launching a new podcast that's going to be once a week. So you're going to have daily podcasts and Create Like a God, and I'll have the new podcast specifically niche down for game development, game design, mostly towards the gaming industry. Okay, in that genre, in that niche. Okay, so Create Like a God is more of like personal development, creations, taking action, working on your game, doing 10x. Think thoughts and create it out there. Because everything revolves with creativity. It doesn't have to just do with art, gaming, and all that. It's an art form and everything else. Creating a business, you're basically turning your ideas into reality by do have certain principles. Okay, the do have principle, Think and Grow Rich, many of these other books. Other stuff that I'm learning, and also learning how to bring your own originality, create your own voice. You got to put it out there. You may not understand it yet. You may not find it just yet. But as long as you use these techniques, these tactics or frameworks you can use, okay, for yourself, you will get out there learning from others and building upon that. Okay, that's how you innovate. You build upon that, creating new ideas and what works. Okay, and frameworks. So in this, we're going to be talking about the difference between stealing like an artist and straight up copying. Okay, it's a completely different thing. Okay, I think there's a lawsuit going on. I just watched a video last night. Some updates with Sony and Tencent. There's a lawsuit going on with them about a game. I think you have Horizon, which I never played the game before, and another game which is very similar, looks just like it, the art style and everything, but they might have just copied too much. Okay, they might have just copied. Wasn't no twist, wasn't no little flair, wasn't no recipe where can they make it their own. They can steal from it and all that, but they didn't make it their own. But we're going to see how this lawsuit plays out. Okay, so this was a lawsuit. Okay, so apparently this is what's going on in that. And the whole thing with Nintendo and Power World, which I do want to get Power World, but Nintendo, I believe they're reaching. I believe they're stretching. Some people believe it's a ripoff of Pokemon. I don't think so. I don't think it is a ripoff of Pokemon. Pokemon doesn't have guns or anything like that. The Pokemon with guns and how it plays and everything like that. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Nintendo's kind of bullying Power World on Pocket Pair and all that other stuff. I haven't seen more of the updates on that, but we're going to be talking about like the difference between it. Okay, from copying into copying and actually good theft. Okay, so good theft, you're stealing, you're putting everything together, you're getting ideas, you're getting stuff that inspires you, and you mash it up together to create something unique, your own. And some people can probably see, oh, this is kind of like Pokemon, this is that. There's so many different games that's similar like Pokemon. Why they go after Power World? Because Power World is possibly going to make some money. It's going to be a competitor to Pokemon. Okay, and I hear a lot of drama what's going on with Pokemon. I think as of right now with fans, I don't know. This is just allegations, okay, or some things that's going on, which I'm going to look more into it, because I'm just learning. Okay, why did this happen? Why does this happen? All that, and a lot of Pokemon fans or some of the fans, even with me looking at Nintendo, the first Nintendo with the Switch, which I got the Switch, I got it right here. I'm not sure if I will get which you can see right here. The only game I got is Tomb Raider remasters on there, but other than that. I don't see myself getting Nintendo Switch 2. I'm not really sure. I'm not really liking where Nintendo is going. With it, Xbox, I don't know what they're doing. PlayStation, there's been a lot of drama going on in the gaming industry. Okay, in the game development, all that sphere. But with Pokemon, I've seen the graphics of the 1 and the 2, and it looked pretty much similar from what I've seen. But it's up to you. Advise and make sure people that's actually doing game reviews, because most of these journalists and people that do game reviews not very ethical. They want to get codes, they want to get paid, they don't really care about the industry. That's how I look at it. So you got to make sure you use it and buy at your own advisory, or I guess that's not the right term for it, like word. But in this episode, that's what we're going to do. We're going to break down good creative theft really is and how to borrow from others while building your own legacy. Okay, so how to build your own legacy. And again, some of this stuff is you got to learn, which you listen to episode 1, nothing's truly original. Listen to episode number 2, how to be original. I talked about this stuff. And I believe also too with which episode was it? It's something to deal with talked about it with criticism. I believe it's episode 19. And yesterday's episode, which is episode 20, being a consumer and producer. Okay, make sure you guys go ahead and listen to those episodes, man, and understand you don't want to straight up copy. If you do copy something, make sure there's some things you could probably like steal from or copy. You could say, but you make sure you make it unique to your own game, into your own universe or comics and stuff like that. Don't straight up copy. There's also other stories where some people did some panels of actually copy exactly like certain things from the panel, or I don't remember the artist, or he tried to be a mangaka, and he did straight up panels copying from Bleach. I don't remember the name of the guy at the top of my head at this moment, but he did some stuff like that. Also stuff with webtoons, I think Windbreaker or something like that. I believe it's from that. I don't know the author. I've been hearing stuff like that. You guys want to make sure you can inspire, use panels. I guess not use panels, but make sure you don't exactly copy, which I understand references. You can use references and stuff like that. But if you straight up copy straight off a panel, that's pretty nuts to me, dude. So just make sure you unique and start drawing and do things that's different, that makes it unique, which you can use references and stuff like that, but you can use references and push it and not exactly copy from what it is, but use references that actually help you get where it is. You don't need to straight up copy and do that. Okay. Great artists do copy, but no, good artists copy, great artists steal. Okay. Let's go ahead and get to this point today. And I forgot to bring up something right here, show display right here, Krells to the Create Like a God podcast. And again, make sure before we get to these points, make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell on this podcast and leave your comment below what you're going to be thinking. Probably leave that at the end. If you're listening to same thing on Spotify as well, you can comment on Spotify. Okay, leave a comment below and everything like that. And also leave a 5-star rating and review on Spotify or on Apple iTunes or wherever you're listening to. Okay, so that way I can get ideas how to improve the podcast, which I'm at the beginning stages of it, and that way we can get better production and podcasts to make it better. And one more thing, okay, if you want to get our copy recession proof business model, okay, the free online course to obtain your own creative freedom, that's how I'm looking at it, because this can help you bring your own creative freedom. Make sure you go to JaronMitchell.com/iconic marketer. Okay, not with a C, with a K. It'll be on the description below in the show notes. And if you're watching right now, okay, you can go ahead and I'm looking for it right now. You can go ahead and scan the QR code that will show up pretty soon. And for some reason, it's not showing up here. I don't know what happened. Okay, so never mind about that. I'm not sure what's happened. It seemed like it got deleted off of here from StreamYard. But go to JaronMitchell.com/iconic marketer. Get your free online course, okay, to obtain creative freedom. You can use the copy recession proof business model. You can use it or join me and leverage it. You got to put in the work. Disclaimer, no income claims and all the other stuff. You got to put in the work to go ahead and do it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get point number 1. Today's topic we're talking about today is good theft versus bad theft. Okay, point number 1, which is understand the law of a book. Not a book, Think and Grow Rich. Oh my goodness. Understand Law 7 from the book 48 Laws of Power. Okay, so this is more of a Machiavellian book, business book, but understand you can use it to your advantage in certain ways, okay? Which a lot of you got to understand, use it, honor the greats that became before you, honor those people, understand, because without them, we didn't got here where we at. And same thing with AI, okay? I know AI, a lot of people talk about AI, or those who says AI and all this other stuff. I remember watching one video of this guy. We're gonna be talking about it probably in another episode. Why this? Oh, I'm not an artist. You know, I didn't have the talent of art and all this other stuff, all this other BS that he's talking about. It's like, bro, basically, you're being lazy, using AI to actually generate it and call yourself an AI artist. You're not an artist, okay? You're more of directing, putting in prompts so it can create something for you. You're not an artist, bro. You don't have the talent. You're not willing to put in the work. You're not willing to put in the blood, sweat, and tears. Instead, you're willing to be fucking lazy and not actually put in the work and draw, because drawing is a skill, just like reading and writing. It is a skill. You need to learn it, okay? Just like going to the gym. You want that nice body. You want to build that muscles. Women, you want to have that figure that you want, right? Go to the gym. Actually put in the work. Actually go through naturally and do it. Don't half-ass it. Don't go in and say, oh, I'm an AI artist, or I got a butt, which you probably use butt implants and all the other stuff to get yourself, BBLs and all the other stuff. You don't need to do that. Go it naturally. Put in the work. When you put in the blood, sweat, and tears and actually put in the work, you will be feeling good. You're feeling great. And there's no what other, like, unless you get hurt at the gym or anything like that, you won't get hurt. You won't go, certain things may not happen. Okay, as long as you do certain things right, lifting. Same thing in art, okay? So I hear this guy talking about it. No, you're not an artist, bro. You're using prompts and using to generate AI art. You're not an artist. And AI art and all this other stuff is learned from a human being, okay? It's learned. It's built upon others that got us here. That's what AI is doing, okay? We can use it as an artist. We can use it as a tool if we people use it ethically, which it's a lot like the Wild Wild West cowboy and all that other stuff going on here. And then AI, but you need to understand you can use AI to help you. And I understand why Sora and all of them won't pay the artists to license their stuff. If they do that, they get some money. Win-win, baby. Win-win. That's the whole thing about this Create Like a God, even my company, where I think value is the win-win strategy, okay? But going on to point number 1 right out here, okay, 48 laws of power. Get others, do this what the law says. Get others to do the work, but always take the credit, okay? End quote. Robert Greene's books, 48 Laws of Power. Read the book, understand the book. Now you may think, oh, that's evil. A lot of people think the book is evil. Yet the book is banned in prisons from what I know at this moment. Okay. And this is, you can use it in certain ways, but understand what people will do. They did, I think they did, even with the music industry, right? They use the music. Some artists basically slay. They slay to their work. They sign a type of contract. They got to put some work out, you know, and they not willing, and they basically own. I think they tried to own Prince. Okay, they tried to own Prince and his music, right? And he couldn't put out music or anything like that. So you guys need to understand these laws and understand how it works. That's why you need to protect yourself. That's why you need to get a lawyer. That's why you need, under any contract that you sign, you must understand to sign this. Okay, sign it, because you will have people will actually steal and claim it to be their own. Okay, but what I'm talking about here is honor the greats, honor those who came before you, credit them that got you where you're going to be at, credit them where they're going to be at, but it says you take all the credit, but all the credit you're taking is the work. You put in the work. You studied the greats. You studied the artists. You put all the work in, you mash it all together, and you create something unique to your own, because you are not reinventing the wheel. You're not being I'm forgetting the word right now. Those who, the pioneer, there we go. The pioneers to get arrows in their back. They don't really make money. Okay. They didn't really make money and stuff like that. You're building on top of that. You're building on those people who come before us that actually got us here. And those who art, AI, using all that stuff, they got to honor the greats. They got to honor the people that came before us. And also the people that's alive with copyright right. Make sure you pay them. Make sure you go ahead and do that. And actually, for me, if I have something that AI and all that stuff, I'll actually license it. I'll actually give artists some money, get them paid, get them permission. Be ethical, okay? That's the type of business I'm looking to do. Be ethical. But this is what this law states in 48 Laws of Power, law number 7. Okay, I already quoted from the book. Here's another one right here. Get others to work to do the work, but you take all the credit. Use the wisdom, the knowledge, the legwork of other people further your own cause. Not only such assistance save you valuable time and energy, it will give you a godlike aura or effect and speed. In the end of your helpers will forget you will be remembered. Never do the work others can do for you. Okay. And I understand you may think, whoa, Jaron, that is crazy. I'm going to hear it in the comments. Okay. But you got to understand the law. You got to understand this book, because there's people in Hollywood, there's people in music industry. They will do this. It happened to Prince. It happened to certain other artists as well. It's happening to this day. And that's why you need to protect yourself. You need to understand, hire a lawyer, get in the money. You're going to put there's a lot of people in the industry that are slaves. They're slaves to the company. They sign something. They can't be themselves. They got to act, play an actor, play all this stuff. I don't want to do all that. I want to be authentic, especially the age of AI. Okay. Same thing with streamers. You know, there's streamers out there, which I'm learning that they acting. They acting. They're playing a part. They're not actually themselves. They're playing their role of an individual. And the crazy thing about it is the be, do, have principle, right? If you actually be the person you really want to be and act that person and make it your way of being, your way of life, okay, you're acting, you become, and you manifest, you build a character. There's a lot of people that tells me like, oh, you got a great personality. I didn't get my personality like this. I built it. I worked towards it. I had failures. I got smacked in the mouth. I got punched in the face. Okay. Life hit me. Okay. A lot of setbacks, a lot of heartache, a lot of failure and temporary defeats, a lot of things I'm questioning myself. Okay. Am I going on the right path? Dealing with it. You know what? I'm going to keep on going because I will not give up. It's not over until I win. Use the knowledge, the legwork of others. Basically, also, you could say they're taking all the credit, but you're using, on top of that, you're using your model, mimic, and mastering. You model what they're doing, you're mimicking it, and you're mastering it. Okay. And you can use it in the industry. This is so with business. Okay. No matter what industry is, you don't have to use the exact copy that they're using, copying everything that they're doing. No, don't do that. Okay. See what works, see what doesn't work, but you're basically using the legwork of others. And in a way, you're kind of taking all the credit, but you made it something unique in your own, even though you're stealing. Okay. You're stealing. Okay. And this is how to be original. How to be original, episode number 2. Okay. You mash everything together. You come up with everything and become something unique of your own. And great. What is plagiarism? What is it? Undetected. I forgot the quote right now. Undetected plagiarism. That's how you mash everything together. Okay, you put everything together. You steal from so many different sources that people won't know, but the framework is still there. Everything is still there. Many great artists build on what comes before them, but they transform it into something greater. Okay, this is how you innovate. This is how you get something better. Okay, look at this stuff. Look at the art. Look at the art of animation, or even with comics and stuff like that. Look at the art. It's okay, it's good, but then over time it got better. 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 It innovated because artists keep working on themselves. They keep looking at different techniques, different things to work on, different things to improve in their work. Okay, you're building upon what they say. You're building upon of giants. Okay, and this is the whole point. Shoulders of giants. Okay, this is the whole point with also the Your Wish is Your Command. Make sure you look up that audio, get the audio, whatever. Okay, by Kevin Trudeau. Your wish is your command. Who do you listen to? Okay, those are from the masters. Those are from the mentors. Okay, and this is from the mentors that I look upon with what I'm doing. Okay, Napoleon Hill, I look at him as a mentor. He's not even alive. You know, I actually regret not having. I would love to have Bob Proctor on my podcast, but he passed away. You know, great. I can look at law of attraction, law of vibration, that type of stuff, right? And this is going through God's laws and everything like that. Okay. And it transformed. Good. Bad theft is copy and paste. You don't want to copy and straight up paste. You don't want to do that. That's bad. That's bad theft. You know, good artists copy, but great artists steal. Quote by Pablo Picasso. Okay, stealing certain different things that inspire you, that you love, and you combine it and you mesh it up to create something unique and original to your own type of work. Okay, good theft elevates innovation. That's basically what I'm saying. This is using, I think it was episode 18, synthetic imagination. Okay, use your synthetic imagination, all the stuff that you built upon, all the knowledge and everything that you create. Then you use your sixth sense, which is, I believe it's the creative imagination, the hunches and stuff that gives you that stuff that puts you out because you're constantly thinking about it. You're subconsciously thinking about it every single day to solve a problem. You're thinking about it. You just conscious mind give it to you through dreams. Another episode. Okay, we talked about dreams, certain little inspiration hunches, that gut feeling and all that other stuff that gives it to you. Okay, the takeaway is right here. You can take inspiration, but always add your own soul to it. Okay, and that's the problem. That's going to be AI. You could probably do a little add little things that add your own little flair and stuff like in it. But again, AI should be a tool to, just like the phones and everything else, it is a tool to help you improve, to make things actually better for you, to improve and get faster. And I think AI is going to be a great thing in the future, but be skeptical, okay? And because people that are not artists, they're going to be using it and call themselves an artist. They're not an artist. Make sure, and again, AI is training from people before it came in. Without AI, without the humans and all that other stuff, there will be no AI. AI is building on top of those who already have done it, that put in the work. And as long as for me, if I get my own, I'm looking to get my own AI tool, but I'm gonna make sure if I do it to others, artists, make sure they get licensed, make sure they get paid, they get their money. But I'm going to use it to help me with certain situations, not just put in a prompt, spit out an image. And if I do something like that, I'm being honest with you guys, if I do something like that, it would just be a placeholder to something I actually truly want, to actually I truly going to end up being or end up doing and creating. Okay. And point number 2, today's topic we're talking about today is good theft versus bad theft. Okay. Point number 2, good theft transform bad theft mimics. Okay. I know you got the model, mimic, and master. Okay, you model it, you mimic what's going on, how they look, the look you could of it, but you can put your own copy and all that. That's doing like funnels. This is what I learned from with, I believe, also the 10x, the 10x boot camps from I learned, and also this is from scaling. They'll scale. This is more of duplication with model, mimic, and master, duplicatable. So again, you got the 10x boot camp work. This is the second workbook. This is the first workbook, a little bit more thicker though, but this is more a little condensed. So this, I think it's from Brandon Dawson, model, mimic, and master. He talked about this, a lot of leadership stuff that he does as well. So model, mimic, and master. Okay, good theft is remixing. Everything is a remix. Okay, every single thing is a remix. Grabbing snippets, grabbing little audio stuff. You don't want to exactly copy. Okay, you want to use, it's a structure. You use a structure, rhythm, color theory, or themes from someone else. You elevate it through your own lenses. You use it. You use it, you elevate it, and you use it as your own. Use it, you put your own recipe into it. You put your own little flair into it. I talk about it in episode 2. Okay, but bad theft is cloning it. Okay, no perspective, no originality, no soul. You're tracing someone else's legacy without creating your own. Okay, but you can go ahead and copy. Okay, which cloning, you can say not clone, but copying it, as in you're studying, you're trying to understand it. You're using tracing and all that, right? Tracing paper is good for animation as well. When you're animating and stuff like that, there's little flip animations. Okay, even that's building upon it. That's elevating the animation and stuff like that too. And I think AI could be good for that, elevating, helping get in betweens, which people the in betweeners may lose their job and all that, all the legwork. But it would be a certain amount of people that actually doing the frameworks and all that. We'll see. But hopefully, it may not go well, because animation is going to be the first to probably go, because AI is taking over. But start building your own. I think that we're going to be in the golden age of indie creators, indie developers, because AI, like Hollywood, I think Hollywood's going to be collapsing. A lot of these big corporations are not going to have as much power as they have maybe with the AI and all the technology and stuff like that. But you can go ahead, you use it. There's going to be an age of the indie creators, the golden age. I truly believe we're going to be hitting the golden age of indie creators. Okay, so that's where we're going to be at. Okay, and if I haven't, and also too, here's a quote right here. It's not where you take things from, it's where you take them to. Jean-Luc Godard. Okay, so again, make sure you go ahead and not exactly copy. You can copy maybe the framework. This is more with funnels and stuff like that, with marketing, but the same thing too. Okay, you can follow even with stories, right? It's a certain framework, a certain story structure. Hollywood does it. A lot of I think I got The Cat, which I'm also getting a novel one, because I'm gonna be doing web novels and stuff like that. We're gonna bring in. I got a lot of stuff we got going on, you guys. But I'm also gonna get some help, hire some people, and you just need the money to go ahead and do that, to pay, because I want to pay people, man. I want to actually put in, have them pay them. But remixing, good theft is remixing, actually putting out there, remixing, using some your own, you put your own flair into it. Copy, transform, and combine. Model, mimic, and master. You model it, you mimic it, and you mimic by copying certain little things, but not just straight up copying. For funnels, you don't have to copy exact thing, but you can copy the framework and how everything is structured. Okay, talked about it in, I think, funnel hacking with the Russell Brunson, and a lot of frame stuff. It's all the stuff you can use. It's techniques, it's frameworks, but you don't want to straight up copy This is more mastering. The artist is a little different, somewhat a little same, but a little bit different. If you want to copy something, study it for studies, how they get it there, how they got there, study it for perspective, study for certain things that you're studying from. And also, like, you do painting and studying and all the other stuff, but you don't want to sell it. You don't want to do all that. Give the person the credit, okay? But when I'm talking about with 48 laws of power, with law number 7, building on those who became before us, okay? And there's people, even with Kobe Bryant, he copied moves. If you look at Kobe Bryant's game, he copied moves from Michael Jordan, one of the greatest players who ever played the game. He copied from it, okay? And there's going to be another person who, in which we're going to be in age of with Steph Curry and all that other stuff. They see what Steph Curry doing, all the other stuff. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter who ever played the game of basketball, the greatest shooter. Okay, there's going to be people that's going to be inspired by Stephen Curry shooting threes, and he does half court. Amazing player. He's just an amazing player. Okay, let's go ahead and get to point number 3. Let me see. I got 5 points here. Okay. Point number 3. Today's topic we're talking about today is good theft versus bad theft. Okay. Bad theft seeks credit without contribution. Okay. People who do bad theft wants praise without the process. Okay. This is going on with AI art. I'm an AI artist. I'm an artist. I'm an AI artist. Bullshit. You're not an AI artist. You're just using prompts. You're copying it. You're more like a creative director. Okay. But you're not thinking about, oh, I have the talent and all that. You're not thinking about the greats that came before us. You're not thinking about the people that actually got us here, because AI is actually being trained from the greats that came before, that studied the greats, but it's mimicking and copying all that from the greats. You're not an artist. If you say AI artist, you're not an artist. I'm sorry to tell you this. You're not an artist. You just put in a prompt. You're more of probably a creative director. Okay. People who do bad theft wants praise without the process. Okay. They skip the learning curve. They don't want to understand the craft, and they want to they want the attention. Okay. They want the attention. Okay. There's been history of copying and all the other stuff. We got a sculpture. Somebody copied, I think, an illustration. I forgot who it was. And they made a sculpture out of it. They got sued. That's copyright infringement. Okay. They didn't get the credit. They took the credit from somebody else's stuff. They could have just made it something inspired by it and have something like that. Composition and all that, same way. Okay. You can copy composition, all that, but you mess flair and put it through yourself. Okay. People, a lot of the art community, I know they don't like that. They don't like that. They don't like people copying. I understand it. I understand as well. Same thing in the music. And there's a time in the music industry, I think in the early 90s, early 2000s, they didn't like people copying their flow. Okay, they flow, they art, the way they talk and all that. Then for some reason, you got the Migos, or I don't know, some people talking and they all sound the same. I hate it. I did not like the mumble industry, the mumble rap industry. I couldn't stand it. I didn't like it. It was gibberish music. You know, I'm type of listening to lyrics, how they wordplay and all the other stuff. Didn't like that industry. I'm glad that is dead. I'm kind of, it's completely dead. I'm glad I don't have to hear that BS anymore. And I didn't like that type of music. Okay. So along with that, you know, again, let's see, good theft. Good theft is study, learn, break down the process, and build something new. Okay, building something new. I know there's someone with the music model, mimic, and master. They model, they memor it, they master it, but they didn't put themselves to sound different. Okay, to sound unique, the sound they put themselves out there, make them different. Okay, so hit that. I think Hobson had a mumble. That's no hash brown. It's pretty funny, actually. Okay, and here's the warning sign right here. A warning sign. If your work looks exactly like someone else's and you can't explain what you added, that is not inspiration. That is imitation. Okay, that is straight up imitation. And you don't want to be that type of person. Trust me, the art community does not like that. I've been seeing some controversy and all that. Some people that does that, something the art community does not like that. Okay, but you do need references. You need to add something. Use references. It's good to study it. Okay, to study the copy and all that other stuff, but to actually put it out there and give actually put it out there and claim this is you did it. I know there's nothing truly original. There's nothing new under the sun. But just straight up copying, like copyright infringement, you don't want to get into the point where you're copyright infringement, you're using a photo from a photographer and all that other stuff. And that's the problem with AI. And there going to need to be some regulations. And I think artists should get paid, bro. They should get paid to be ethical, man. They should get paid. And if they're using the AI, if AI is using it to study their work or use their work, them artists should get paid. They should get their money. Okay, just like you have, like, what is it? You go to stock images and all that other stuff. to use their stock images, and they get paid and all that. And like you use that for graphics and all that, and they see that into a game and all that, getting hit with a copyright strike, getting hit with a lawsuit. Okay. You don't want to be that person. You don't want. It's going to bring a lot of headaches, man. A lot of headaches. So make sure you create something unique, your own. You don't exactly copy. You create something unique, and you can, you license it out. And I think licensing it out to the work, artists should get paid for their work. Okay. So again, if you look at if it look exactly like what, if your work look exactly what someone else's and you can't explain what you added on to it, then it's not inspiration, it's imitation. And it's good to imitate, as in for studying, to how to learn how the tools work, to copy, to build upon your skills, but not to actually put in actual work into a video game, an illustration, or a book, or anything like that. You don't want to do it. You could make references and stuff like that, but you don't want to copy exactly. Use it to build upon your work. Okay. So let's go ahead and get to point number 4. Today's topic we're talking about today is why good theft versus bad theft. Okay. Point number 4. Okay. Is let me see. Good theft requires intention and self-awareness. Okay. And what I mean by this is know why you're borrowing. Is it color harmony? Is it composition? Is it tone? Know what it fits in your own creative identity. If you are intentional, even if you're borrowing, your work becomes authentic, not fake. Okay, be intentional what you're copying, be intentional what you're doing. And yeah, there's some composition you can take of it, and people get criticized and all that. But understand there's nothing truly original. There's nothing new under the sun, because you used to composition everything to help with your stuff, and people can see the inspiration where it came from and everything like that. But don't understand. Some people talk about this and all this other stuff, but understand that nothing is truly original, and give credit. You building, you're learning from the greats. Who do you listen to, and what's your teachability index? Okay. Kim Jong-un reference everything from samurai history to Marvel comics, but his voice 100% his own, which I think it was episode 17. Go ahead. I think that was a great episode, by the way. Episode 17. And you probably will hear, which I didn't mention it here, which earlier this morning, I don't know why, the alarm, the fire alarm, whatever, it was chirping and all that. In that episode, you will hear the chirps. It startled me a couple times. Yeah, it's episode 17. Make sure you guys go ahead and listen to that episode, and like and subscribe. Okay, so go ahead, listen to the episode, and we're gonna take it from there. His own. Make sure it's your own. Big attention to it, even in borrowing. Borrowing and copy, transform, and combine, and make it someone unique to your own. And I think Gacha Kubo, I think it's a manga, and it's a manga and a in an animation that's going on. I think this season. I haven't been watching it because I'm not on Crunchyroll anymore. I actually starting to dislike Crunchyroll and what they're doing. No comments, nothing like that. And it's like a whole monopoly going on. They need some competition going on with going against Crunchyroll. Okay. And let's go ahead and get to point number 5. Okay, today's topic we're talking about today is good theft versus bad theft. Okay, real creators create the source and outgrow it. Okay, good artists pay respects to great artists. The great pay respect, basically build upon, learn upon the greats, honoring the greats, honoring those that came before you. And I think also in hip hop and all that. I remember what artist, Little Xanax. If I'm not, I don't even, nobody heard about this band anymore, bro. Basically, they just basically used them, no money and all that other stuff, and didn't like his stuff. But a lot of people in the hip hop community honors Biggie, Tupac, and all that. There's certain people that disrespect Tupac, right? There's some people that didn't like the music and all that other stuff. They disrespect Tupac. Okay, so this is basically honoring, disrespecting the greats. Okay, disrespecting those who became before us. All right, and you can learn something from Tupac. Okay, which I also think he was playing a character, from what I learned, and what I've come to find out, a lot of other stuff. He didn't have to go that route. He's acting. It actually worked. If I'm correct on this, okay. I like Tupac. Love his music. Love Tupac. Even Biggie. Love both of them. Okay. And what the media was portraying during that time in the 90s, having East versus West, all that type of crap. Okay. So I'm probably looking more into that beef and what's going on here. But good artists pay respects. Great artists build their own lane. Okay, they pay respects from the others. They pay respects those who previous in it, and they work something creative flair, something original, and be in their own lane. Okay, they outgrow it. Okay, and give credit where it's due. Then go further than your inspiration ever did. It says what I got right here in my notes. You're known. You're known. You've done it when people feel your work. They're inspired by you and not hiding your influence. You're honoring them. Okay. People will feel it, man. They'll feel it. They'll understand it. And same thing that's going on with the writing, also with Show and Jump, with Shueisha and everything, Shueisha, but everything like that. You got some of those who honor the greats, honor Dragon Ball Z. I think a lot of inspiration from Dragon Ball Z came, got Naruto. Then we got Naruto, we got Bleach, and also One Piece. Okay, those, Tite Kubo, Croatia, and Masashi Kishimoto. I think that's the author from Naruto. Sorry, forgive me. Came before. Then you have what? Goku. Basically, Goku or Dragon Ball Z was pretty much Dragon Ball. It's pretty similar with Superman and everything like that, but it came from the Journey Through the West. You can see the inspiration, which Goku is basically from Son Goku, Son Wukong, Journey Through the West. Okay, like that is different. Same name, Son Wukong. I think also too, you have God of High School, which is that series on Webtoons. Same thing, Journey to the West. Okay, which is I think it's the Korean version of Son Goku. I forgot the name of it. So Korean in the Korean language, same thing, just in different languages. Okay, so honor the greats, pay respect to the greats. Thus, they came before us, because without them, we did not have got here. We not have gotten this far. And those who are in the game in this modern time, or even before, and when I'm gone, honor them. Okay, honor the greats became before us, and you're going to see those people are going to elevate. It's going to get even better. Okay, so let's go ahead and recap today's topic that I'm talking about today is good theft versus bad theft. We talked about honoring the greats. There's a difference between stealing like an artist and straight up copying. We broke down the good theft versus good creative theft. That's really in how to borrow it from others to build your own legacy. Okay, this is coming from the book Still Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. He also has other books, which is Show Your Work and I think it's called Keep Going. Okay, those little books. Go ahead and get those little books, which I do. I don't have them right at this moment because I moved. I think they will be in California, where I'm at, where some of my belongings in California. So when I get myself more in a better position and get into my own place, I'll be probably going back and getting those books. Okay. Point number 1, understand law number 7 and use others to do the work to elevate. This is not just building and understand, protect yourself. Don't be like Prince. Don't have those. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be in that situation. Okay. Where Prince, where basically he was a slave. He couldn't use his name. He was using his own instruments, and they wouldn't allow it. Look into Prince, bro. Look into that situation. I'm gonna look into it more myself. Okay. And other stuff in the music industry. Okay. The executives and all that. Make sure you sign a good contract. Don't put yourself in a bad position, become a slave. And some things also happened with Elvis Presley as well, if I'm correct. And his manager was a gambling addict, basically, right? From when I think my mom was telling me, she was watching like a whole documentary or something like that. He was basically a gambling addict. That's why gambling is bad. Don't gamble. Okay. The only person you need to bet on yourself. That's the only person you need to do is bet on yourself. Because if you bet on yourself, you actually trust your own self and your own goals, and also trust in God as well. Bet on God, trust in God. God is the best of planners. He'll get you there. Okay. Get others to do the work and always take the credit. But you only take, for me, I look as understand this law, understand it, where you won't put yourself in a position where people taking all the work, you doing the work for them, they taking all the credit. That's what's going on with the AI. They're not honoring the greats. You got some person that's saying, hey, I'm an AI artist because I didn't have the talent. I don't have the talent. I don't have the credit. And if you was listening to this podcast, if you're listening, you'll understand that it is a skill. Drawing is a skill, just like reading and writing. It's a skill, just like math. It's a skill. You got to learn it. You got to understand the basics. You got to put your heart, blood, and sweat and tears to understand it. You can actually do it as well. Okay. Point number 2, good theft versus good theft transform bad theft mimics. We talk about the copy, transform, and combine, which episode 1 and 2, and model, mimic, and master. Pretty much similar, but differences. You don't want to copy completely. Okay. Point number 3, bad theft seeks credit without contribution. Okay. Contribute. Give credit where it's due. Okay. And you want to make sure you do that. You know, art community and all that, they don't like people with the credit. That's why we have the credit system within also credit, giving out credit, basically giving out credit to the artists who actually put in the work and actually done it and put their work out there, which is from games and films. And also I think some stuff as well, put in credit, and also with creators, being a creator, put in credit, man, do it. It will help you through the long run. It is very disrespectful to actually do that within the creative sphere and also being as an artist as well. Okay. You want to give credit and also honor those who came before us, even though you learned from it, you understand it, and you honor the greats, but you basically put your own flair into it. Point number 4, good theft requires intention and self-awareness. Point number 5, real creators create the source and outgrow it. Okay. They innovate it, they make it better, they improve. Okay. Let me know about this podcast, what you guys think. Okay. Let me know and give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts on it. Leave a comment below. Make sure you hit that like, hit the like and subscribe, you know, comment below. Let me know what you think. Hit that notification bell. Okay. Let me know. Let me know about this episode. Okay. Put your comments. Put your comments below. Let me know. Maybe I could create some more episodes, get some ideas to talk about it, and get a whole new perspective, the way of looking at things. Okay. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get this daily podcast, Create Like a God. And that's on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Stitcher, and all that other, I don't think Stitcher exists anymore, but Good Pod, you know, all that other stuff. Make sure you hit that notification bell, follow, and leave a 5-star rating and review to review the podcast. Okay. And let me know what you think. Usually my podcast is 40 and 30 minutes. I try to make it smaller, but I have a lot to talk about. Okay. And make sure you guys go ahead and it's going to be in the show notes and everything like that. You want to get a free online course to obtain creative freedom. Okay. You're going to have to put in the work to obtain creative freedom. I want creative freedom for myself. I don't want to be in corporations and I want to look to build my own IP, my own stuff, and looking to do that. Make sure you go to Jaron, copy our recession business model, and go to JaronMitchell.com/iconic marketer. Okay. You will understand. You can use it, or you can leverage us. Okay. And income wise, disclaimer, it's up to you. You have to put in the work. Okay. You have to do it. Okay. Go ahead and do that right now. And folks, is not where we're at, to where we come from. Always create like a God. You're the master of your fate. You're the captain of your soul. You're made in the image of God. God gave you a brain to think for yourself. So take full possession of your own mind and worship the one true creator, which I believe is Allah, the one God worthy of worship. No God is worthy of worship or deity worthy of worship except Allah and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Jesus, Isa, peace be upon him, and the other prophets is the messengers of Allah. All right. Take full possession of your own mind, and always create like a God.